will once again be on our local streets. Both ways of traffic must stop for a school bus when it has its stop sign extended, lights flashing, and is loading or unloading students on an undivided roadway. But Chief Matthew Board of the Parkersburg Police Department says it's good to stop regardless for the safety of the kids. The first offense of passing a school bus while it is loading or unloading is a mandatory $500 to $1,000 fine with a potential of 6 months in jail. Ultimately, on your third repeat offense, you could serve a mandatory 48 hours in jail with the potential of up to 6 months in jail, as well as a substantial monetary fine.
Just be cognizant that as you're traveling, if a school bus stops in front of you, stop. The light will be extended, the sign will be extended. That means stop. And West Virginia has some pretty significant penalties if you don't. And that's obvious, or for obvious reasons, of the children's safety. So, it might be a kindergartner getting off the bus, it might be a high schooler getting off the bus. But regardless of the age, we want to keep the children safe. And it's all of our responsibility to be mindful that sometimes, we've all, as adults, driven a lot longer than kids have crossed streets and unloaded off of buses. So we need to work together on it.
Chief Board says the public can expect to see more Parkersburg police officers patrolling city school zones, especially at the beginning of the school year. The first day of school for Wood County students is this Wednesday, August 20th. Today was the first day